Today we're going to look at a whole new motorcycle brand that has the potential to change the way Singaporean riders shop and look for a motorbike.
That's right, this could be the most bang for your buck motorcycle brand you haven't heard of yet. So after watching this video, you'll find out that proper technology, great design and high quality components in a bike don't have to break the bank. Okay, I'm going to kick it off and demoralize everybody by saying what a horrible time it is to be a motorcyclist, and I can give you 10,000 reasons why. 10,000.
Well, I can give you 3 letters why.
3 letters. Okay, let me just show you, okay?
Okay.
So, I'm gonna put something in, you react to it, just feel, don't think like you usually do.
I'm good at not thinking.
Yeah, you're good at not thinking, you're good at talking, alright?
Ooh, what have we here?
Here we go. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think? Have a look, have a look.
Well, okay, obviously an adventure bike, upright riding position, actually quite big. I think minimum 600, 700 cc. Oh, okay, no, actually it says 800 here. Let's see, the switches feel quite nice. It looks pretty well put together, actually, pretty legit.
Yeah, LED headlight, by the way, and color displays.
Very nice. Oh, high exhaust, spoked wheels. Okay, love it.
So yeah, looks and feels the part. Where do you think it's from?
I'm gonna say somewhere in Europe. I don't know, maybe Spain, maybe.
And amazingly for you, you're kind of right, and we'll explain why later. But this particular bike is the 800 MT Touring from CF MOTO, which is the Chinese motorcycle manufacturer that launched in Singapore earlier this year.
Ah, okay, no wonder it looks so familiar. I've actually heard of CF MOTO.
Because I wrote about it.
They've actually launched in Europe, America, I think Australia, and I've heard they're doing quite well with quite a full stable of fairly premium products, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they've launched in a lot of first world markets, and so far they've been received quite well. Right here in Singapore, CF MOTO has a full lineup of everything from Class 2B to Class 2 bikes, and you can read about it on CarBuyer Singapore, which you will do right now.
Okay, let's see. Okay, now that I've read the story, I can tell you more. The range starts with the 150 NK, which is a super affordable Class 2B street bike. If you're looking to upgrade from there, there are plenty of Class 2A options as well. There's the 300 SR sports bike, which is very racy, and for riders who like to get naked, there's the 400 NK. But for people who want to go the distance, there's also the 400 GT. And there's even more Class 2 models, 6 in total. There's the 650 MT Adventure bike, or if you like your bikes to look more road focused, there's the 650 NK Naked. Then for riders who want to go long distances, there's the 650 GT Sports Tourer. There's also 2 700 CLX models, and finally the flagship 800 MT Adventure Tourer.
Right, so as you can see from all the bikes lined up in front of us, CF MOTO is not a budget bike maker. It's a Chinese bike maker, but it's not a budget bike maker. But you know, I have to say what people are thinking, what they might be worried about. This is a Chinese motorcycle manufacturer, kind of a new thing in Singapore. Should you be worried? You know?
Okay, well, people were saying the same things about Japanese bikes in the 1960s.
Yeah, that's right, you were there, weren't you?
I wasn't there, okay,
you
but
smelt it.
think about today, right? All the Chinese stuff you have in your house, or even in your hand, you've got your Xiaomi TVs, your Huawei phones, and the Chinese are great at AI. Technology, cloud computing, all that stuff.
Oh wait, you did some digging in between scenes, right? You found out about
I did. Actually, I found out that CF MOTO has been in business for 33 years.
Wow,
almost as old as me. Almost as old as you. They almost, I can't even keep a straight face with that. They actually build ATVs, off-road vehicles, and they actually build 600,000 vehicles every year.
Okay. To me, from a logical standpoint, it sounds like the perfect kind of engineering base I would want if I was running a company and I wanted to start making motorcycles, which CF MOTO has. And in Singapore, the company actually stands behind its products with industry standard 5-year warranty. So that's 3 years from the factory and 2 years from the dealer. So, you know, they really believe in the quality of this stuff.
Okay, but that's all the serious business, practical stuff.
Yeah, that's what bikers worry about. Right?
No, you know what bikers really care about, right?
Yeah, COEs, petrol prices, when can I inspect my bike, huh?
Yeah, no, actually, what bikers really care about is looking good.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, now as bikers, I think it's time to admit something. We are all super vain and super fashion conscious.
Yes. That's true, because you know, if we weren't conscious about fashion, everyone would just ride a 125cc generic moped, whatever, but you don't see that happening, right?
Yep, and that just tells you about the importance of design. So that brings me to a point. Now, CF Motor makes inexpensive bikes,
Yeah.
but it's not a budget bike maker.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why CF Moto has already found success in first world markets is because of the maturity of design, the way the bikes look. Take the 300 SR to start with. Now, when I look at the small capacity sports bikes, I always kind of have the impression that these machines are built to cost, but not so with the 300 SR. Take a look at the way it's designed, the LED headlights, the high quality of the equipment, and just take the swing arm, for example, the inverted forks, the brakes, all these kind of things, they add to the entire feeling of maturity and quality. Very European, like what you were saying, right?
Yes, exactly. Now, remember when I first saw this, I thought it was a European bike. Turns out I wasn't that wrong because it actually has a lot of European DNA.
Exactly. So this bike was designed by Kiska Design. You know who they are?
I know, Kiska Design is the design firm owned by KTM Group. And that is not the only link between CF Motor and KTM. They actually have a joint venture to build engines together. And that's why the 790cc engine here is actually pretty much the same as the one in the KTM 790 Adventure.
Exactly. So we're really building on those European links here at the 800MT. And I had a look at the equipment list of this bike. It is really impressive. Now we're going to show all of that to you right here, but keep in mind that this is pretty much anything and everything an adventure bike rider could want at a significantly lower price point. Now if you look at the price of this bike, you will be pretty shocked.
Okay, now you have me seriously excited and I'm raring to go. So, what do you say? Less talking and more riding.
Zip the lip. Let's go. I like that.
Okay, so how was it taking the low and sporty road, Mr.
Well, it was a low, sporty, fun road. So, as you can see from my hair. Okay, so to a sport bike, what you're looking for is lightweight, nimble, easy to ride, and looks good. And I think, current SR ticks all those boxes. The looks, we went over that. The handling, nice and nimble. Good suspension as well, actually. And the power delivery, smooth, just enough, single cylinder engine, but still enough for a sporty ride around town. Good on the highway and good through town as well. Very nimble, very svelte. So if I was a young to a sport rider who felt the need for just enough speed, I think the 300 SR ticks all the boxes, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, as for me, middle-aged adventure man.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of us middle-aged adventure men
Yeah.
kind of buy an adventure bike, right? And then we dream about riding around the world.
Dream.
Yeah, even though many of us just ride to Starbucks, okay?
Yeah.
But that's okay, because if you ask me, right, the true measure of an adventure bike is how well it does in day-to-day traffic.
That's true.
And I think the 800MT actually does very well at that. You don't have to second guess anything. You just jump on and ride. Everything is actually well sorted. It's very easy to handle.
Does it feel European?
It does feel European in that sense, but honestly, what's most amazing about this thing is how much you get for the money. Now, if you log on to CF Moto's local website, I guarantee you won't believe how much these bikes cost.
That's true. And if you look throughout the range, that really is one of the CF Moto hallmarks, how much bike and how much features you're getting for the money. So I think, as what we talked about at the start of this video, not a good time to be a biker, but CF Moto does make it better. Do you think you could convince your wife maybe I could add a second CF MOTO bike to the stable without getting kicked out of the house?
Well, why not a second or a third bike, or maybe a fourth one?
Yeah, and you think about it, when COEs do go down, if they go down, that might be a reality for a lot of people.
So that's our brief introduction to the motorcycle brand CF MOTO and just two of its models, the 300 SR and the 800 MT Touring.
That's right, and if what you saw interests you, please visit CF MOTO Singapore's website or their Facebook. Come down to the showroom where demo rides are available and you can test out all the bikes yourself.
That's it from us at CarBuyer Singapore.
Yep, see you on the road and ride safe.